Matt Hooten with Into Bait Fishing, and today's video is going to be short, but it's going to be to the point. These are my 5 top artificial lures. Now, of course, these are just mine. You may have different ones, and if you do, hey, let me know. Maybe I could try yours too. But these will be just mine, and it's going to kind of give you a walkthrough of how I go about fishing on a day-to-day basis here on the Texas coast. So, all right, let's get started. All right, guys. Lure number 1 is going to be the Top Water, and this, of course, is a MirrOlure Sheeppup. All right, I love using the Sheeppup. To be honest, I hardly ever use anything else besides the Sheeppup. You can see it there. So this one's white with silver on the bottom. I have them in pink. I have them in black. You know, I love to throw the pink one. Pink just stands out in our stained waters. But this lure here is wonderful for calling trout and redfish to the top. For one, it's very, very loud. And the difference between this one and a normal top dog, alright, is not only is it a higher pitched rattle, but its ability to walk the dog has a tighter pattern. Right? So when you're walking the dog, instead of it flipping left and flipping right and flipping left in a longer pattern, it's tight. It's more of a twitch, like this. Right? What that does is allow that fish a better target to hit. Alright? So it's not jerking left and that target missed left or right. If you've ever been fishing topwater, you know that these fish miss a lot. Alright? So this is my number 1 bait. I start it off every morning that if the water's above 60 degrees, I'm going to be throwing this in the morning. Alright? On a cloudy day, pretty long during the day, but generally I stop throwing a top water about when the sun starts coming up. When the sun's full, when you can see it full on, you're putting your sunglasses on, that's usually a good sign that it's time to switch to something else. Alright, let's move on to number 2. My number 2 bait is also in the MirrOlure family. Alright, this is a Miradine. Alright, and what this is a suspending twitch bait. Now I really like working hard baits. Alright, their action is incredible. Their dart side to side. It's like walking the dog but underneath the water. Right? Now this bait is usually the second bait I use. Honestly, after I put the top water away, I switch to this. And what this does is work just under that water column. Alright? So it suspends halfway down, a couple inches down, and it walks, you know, does the same thing. You can walk the dog, or you can just twitch your rod once or twice and make it jerk, and it'll give you a side-to-side action, and it'll just sit there and flutter. And when it stops, generally when a big fish will hit it. Now there's 2 different sizes in the Miradine. This is the M27, alright? I have another one here that's the M17, alright? It's just a little bit smaller. So this one I use if I'm looking to just draw a bunch of bites, alright? It's from a bunch of fish. You see there's a lot of feeding trout or something like that. You can throw this one, alright? The 27, when you want to start upgrading your fish to get a little bit bigger, you start throwing the 27. You'll get less bites, but when you do get a bite, the chance that fish is going to be much larger. So, and I get my Miradines custom made. I buy them off of a guy named Captain C.A. Richardson. He is the host of Flats Class, and he does his own baits. So this one here is the Redneck Margarita. Here it's got a broken glass chartreuse inside with the red head, and this one here is called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So you got the chartreuse going across the top with pink broken glass on the inside, and it throws out incredible visuals. So, but again, this is working the middle of the column, that water. So just after I put that top water away, I switch to this. Alright, let's move to number 3. Alright, my 3rd bait in today's video is going to be the paddle tail. Now this one is Victoria's Secret's Down South Lure. This is the Supermodel series. 4-inch paddle tail. Alright, they also make a 3-inch paddle tail. And it's just the regular size. I really like throwing the Victoria's Secret, especially in Matagorda. The trout and redfish cannot leave this alone. All right, this is a terrific search bait. So if you're having trouble finding fish and you just need to throw something, grab yourself a paddle tail. It doesn't necessarily have to be this paddle tail. This is the paddle tail that I use, and I love it. Throw a paddle tail out there and throw it out as far as you can and work. Just reel it in. All right, and do it again. Keep covering water. All right, paddle tails are extremely effective. The reason I like this one though is its thinner tail. All right, the action on this is incredible. It doesn't take much, and that tail will get to whipping, and it'll just whip, and it causes an incredible vibration underneath the water. All right, so but not only that is I can bounce it off the bottom a little bit better, and it turns into a worm, or it imitates a shrimp just bouncing around, which I really like. So as you can see, I mean, it's obviously worm-like. It bounces all over the place, and it's not even in water, right? So again, this is the Victoria's Secret, and I usually throw a 1/8 ounce jig head, mostly because I fish in very shallow water. Now, the jig head you want to throw is up to you. Depends on how deep the water you're fishing in and your preference. I use a Z-Man a lot because I like the fact, it's different changes of shank length, and I like its hooking features that attaches itself to the down south lure. But again, the jig head that you use is totally up to you. All right, whatever you feel gives you the best chance. All right, there's hundreds of them out there. You just have to figure out what you want. Weedless, or do you want, just an open hook? How long do you want your shank? Those are things that you'll be able to figure out on your own, because it's just personal preference. So again, this is the down south lure. This is the Victoria's Secret model. Highly effective in Matagorda. You should probably go get you some, because these are killing it out there. Alright? Alright, on to number 4. Alright guys, my number 4 bait is tried and true. Now it's a change on the tried and true baits, but it's always been effective. Alright, and that is the spoon. Alright, now you may notice that this spoon is green. Alright, well, this spoon is called the Aqua Dream. And in fact, this one is the Mountain Dew Aqua Dream, being green. Alright, I have found that while silver and gold are both very effective, sometimes these different color spoons can just throw a little bit different contrast out there. I really like the Aqua Dream here. Again, I get these also from Captain C.A. Richardson's with Flat Glass. I really, really like them. They have a terrific flutter moving through the water. Cause a lot of vibration, a lot of flash. I have one in white, I have one in pink, and of course I have regular spoons that I'll throw too, in all different sizes, from a 1/4 ounce, 3/8, on up, depending on what I'm going for. This particular spoon has a nice weed guard that I like, so it keeps it grass free. And something that sometimes people forget is you should always place a swivel on top of your spoon. Reason being is that spoon twists and turns underwater when you're rolling it through. Now, when that happens, what happens is your line will start to twist and twist and twist, and sooner or later it'll start to, one, degrade the line itself, and two, it'll start to get knots, and then it'll start to mess with the overall action, and at some point it'll degrade the line enough that it's going to break. So we don't want that. So just by putting a simple swivel at the very end, can help you prevent that. Again, probably one of the best search baits there is. If you have trouble finding fish that day, put on a spoon and just start slinging it. Sling it as far as you can and wheel it in at whatever speed. Keep changing the speed. Roll it in slow, roll it in fast, bump it on the bottom. All are very, very effective. So, but again, the Aqua Dream spoon, Love this lure. So, alright, on to number 5. Alright guys, number 5. Number 5 is my favorite lure. When I'm targeting redfish in the flats and sight fishing, which is my favorite thing to do, I use this lure. Alright, and it is the Bugs Curltail Jig. Alright, so this is the 1/4 ounce Bugs, and it's made right here in the state of Texas. Alright, and imagine this is basically a fly with a jig head on it. That's the easiest way to put it. Alright, so it has its feathers or its fur that comes off. This one's being green and white, and it comes in 20 different colors. Alright, it comes with a little grub tail on the bottom. Alright, and underneath all of that, it's got 3 or 4 little rattles in there. And you might not be able to hear that through this video, but trust me, underneath you can hear it clanking. Alright, and it's simple to throw. It's the jig head. This one is 1/8 ounce, which, you know, I throw in almost all my lures when I'm in the shallows. It's got a shovel jig head, which means it's a flat jig head, which just helps it get up a little bit more and avoid oyster shells and kind of rocks and things like that to help stay off of it. So it's got a very, very nice weed guard to keep it grass free, which, you know, everybody knows if you get grass on your lure, that cast is a good chance that it's pretty done. Alright, you're going to have to reel it in and get the grass off because it'll mess up the action. So this helps that. Stay off that. So because when you throw in this generally means you're sight fishing redfish. And if you're doing that, you may not get a second throw with those fish. Redfish in shallow water are very spooky. Very, very spooky. And one may be all you get. But basically, when this hits the water, it imitates a crab like nobody's business. Crab, a shrimp, you just throw it right in front of it, bounce it up and down a little bit, make that redfish will hit it. I have a video from last week where I threw at a redfish that was right next to my boat, and it came out from underneath my boat to snatch this one up. And man, it was incredible footage and the time of my life. I love chasing redfish in the flats and in the shallow waters. It's my favorite way to fish, and this Bugs gets it done every time. Now, you can't make a video about lures without having an honorable mention. Alright? Now, I didn't put it in my top 5 because I only use this lure certain times of the year. Alright? And this one is the Paul Brown's Fat Boy. This is the suspending version, the twitch bait version. Alright? And it is a monster trout and redfish killer in the winter. When that water gets cold, this bait is undeniably the best bait I've ever used to catch big trout. Alright? It's twitching action, it's a side-to-side action, just darts left to right just by a simple twitch, and then it sits and it holds its position, which is great, which is what we want. And when that water gets cold, we want to take our time in that water. We want it to dart, and then just sit there for a second. Stay in that strike zone just a couple more minutes. Alright, and this thing is wonderful. This is the pink and silver Fat Boy. I have one in pink and silver, I have one in white, and I have one in dark. I like to keep the full spectrum of colors, one dark, one light, just because when it comes to lure colors, I don't get too crazy with it. I try to keep it as simple as I can. For one, going from a red lure to a pink lure, you might not even notice the difference. Moving from a white lure to a black lure can be, that 180 degrees is what you're more or less looking for. So I try to keep it simple like that, in case you're wondering. I also keep pink just because its contrast underwater has yet to fail me. And when lures, confidence is everything. And I'm confident in pink. Love them. I can't go anywhere without having a pink lure being thrown. So, But yeah, so the Paul Brown's Fat Boy. Again, work it slow, twitch it, let it sit in that strike zone. It's going to be effective for you catching large trout. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. Um, I hope you liked my top 5 plus an honorable mention. Again, these are just my top 5. This is what I use. Um, the colors always change. Just pick a color that you want to use, okay? If you're in dark water, use a dark bait. If you're in light water, use a light bait. If you're in clear water, use something that looks like a normal fish. That's the easiest way I can put it. All these baits do are work different water columns for me. Some work the top, some work the middle, some work the bottom. If you can elevate your lures to work that way where you're covering all the water columns, sooner or later you're going to start catching fish. And when you do, hey, remember where you caught that fish at. Where was it? It was sitting on the bottom. Alright, well, it was sitting in the middle. It was sitting in 4 feet of water, 3 feet of water. Just remember that. And that's going to be more effective than anything that you can do on color-wise. Just know where those fish are in the water column and pick that bait. Alright? Really simple. I appreciate y'all sticking around. Hopefully you got something out of this. Again, if you have different opinions, hey, let me know. Hit me in the comments below. Alright? Don't forget to like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel. There's more to come. I got a big fishing trip coming up here in a couple of days, and we're going to hopefully have incredible video footage of it, and we're going to be able to get that out to you. So if you have another lure you'd like me to check out because you've been using it and it's been killing, hey, let me know. Again, hit me back in those comments. Check us out at Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget Into Bait Fishing. And I'll see y'all next time, guys.